Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Guys, good evening. How are you all? Good evening everyone. Welcome to today's session. So today is actually unit 14, responsibility of the collecting bank. In the last class we have discussed the responsibility of paying banks. What were the responsibilities of the paying bank? How the paying bank ensures the payment, or when it will be the liability of the paying bank, or when it will be the liability of the collecting bank. Different situations we have discussed this in the previous chapter, and this chapter is a very short chapter, only a one-page chapter, in which we are going to discuss the responsibility of the collecting bank. So a check is actually being collected by the collecting bank and send it to the paying bank for the final payment settlement. Now, what are the responsibilities of collecting bank? How a collecting bank ensures the safety of the check? So what are the different safety, and what are the things that are involved in the collecting bank process? Okay, so this is today's lecture. Everyone who have joined the session, just please share and like the session to the maximum you can. Okay, now let's start. So, if we talk about which section, first of all, section 31 of the Negotiable Instrument Act. So, if we talk about the responsibility of the paying bank, collecting bank, or checks, these are all the part of the Negotiable Instrument Act. So, Negotiable Instrument Act, section 31, actually provides protection to the collecting bank and also states certain conditions that include the bank should not have been negligent. So this actually provides the protection to the collecting bank, and this section also states certain conditions in which the bank is actually not considered to be the negligent. If any fraud happens or if anything happen, then the collecting bank is discharged from the any liability. That all conditions are defined in the section 131 of the Negotiable Instrument Act. To show that the bank has not negligent, the bank has to prove it. And why? The bank should prove it by taking all this procedure or all these precautions. If a collecting bank has taken all these precautions, and if this precaution is proved by the collecting bank, then according to section 131 of the Negotiable Instrument Act says that, okay, you have taken all the care and the precautions which is allowed to you or which is instructed to you, and now there is no liability on you on any type of fraud or anything. Okay, now let's start. What are the precautions that should a collecting bank take? First of all, it is a duty to open the account with the references and sufficient document. First of all, if the collecting bank, see, if we talk about the collecting bank, so first duty is to, if you are a collecting bank, you should open the account with all the references and the sufficient document. Okay, next, duty to confirm the references where the referee is not known or has given the reference in absentia. It means what? See, in the early process, if we talk about the banking in early days before the introduction of KYC, every customer who is coming to a bank is introduced by some of the existing customer or the employee of that bank. If we talk about this process, this is actually not applicable in all the conditions, because if you are going to if you are working in a new branch, then how can you take the verification from an old employee or the existence employee? So this is actually not possible in every cases. So if the confirmation is actually taken from the references, or where the especially the person who is given the references of your is actually not known to the bank. So bank has the responsibility to check the background of both the referee and the person whom he is introducing. Third, you have to follow all the KYC norms under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, PMLA Act, and the KYC directions which are RBI. Next, you have to ensure the crossing and special crossing. See, if there is a crossed check and if there is a special crossing check, a collecting bank need to ensure that. Okay, so if any person is coming with a blank check or for a check in which there is no crossing intent and the in front of the collecting bank he actually draws that line, then a bank is prohibited to collect that check because that check is actually tampered in front of that bank. So the bank need to ensure the crossing or the special crossing if the crossing is there, if not the special crossing is there. So a collecting bank has to ensure this before collecting the check. Next, if we talk about the duty to verify the instrument for any apparent defect in the instrument. So it is the duty of the collecting bank to just verify the apparent deduction or the apparent what? Apparent defect in the instrument. It means what? It means that whatever the check is, it is present in a good condition. So there should be not any cut or not any torn that is in the check which is apparent. So bank just need to check that okay, this check is in the good condition to be accepted. Okay, next, duty to take into account the state of the customer account. See, a customer account, if the bank has the customer account and for example the bank that customer or that employee is actually uh, that customer is actually the employee of different bank. So a bank actually have the idea of the salary of that person. Bank need to check the status of that person, okay, to ensure the financial condition of that person. Negligence of collecting bank in collecting checks payable to third parties. So if there is any check that is endorsed to third party and you are collecting that, you have to ensure that there should be no negligence in collecting that instrument. Okay, so these are the certain precautions that a collecting bank should ensure while collecting the check. And if a collecting bank ensures this all certain rules and precautions which is instructed to them by RBI, and now if any fraud happens, then according to section 131 of the Negotiable Instrument Act, the collecting bank is discharged from any type of liability which arises from this fraud, because the collecting bank has follow all the procedures and follow all the documentations and they have the proof, and so the collecting bank is not found guilty in this type of fraud and they have no liability. They actually are discharged from the liabilities. Precautions are, for example, you have to verify the background of the customer. You actually verify the reference from where the reference is coming. All the KYC should be done. There should be the ensurement of the crossing and special crossing of the check. You should verify that the check is in a good condition, means there is no apparent defect on that. Second, duty to take the account the state of customer's account. Next, negligence of collecting bank and collecting payable to the third party. Okay, so these are the responsibilities and the precaution that a collecting bank should take. Okay, done. Okay, next, if we talk about the practice question, now let's start discussing the practice question. The first question is, in the absence of the proper KYC document, the collecting banker can be held liable for the collection of fraudulent check on the ground of what? Negligence, connivance, crime, or arrogance. So the correct answer is, if there is an absence of the KYC document. Now, if there is an absence of the KYC document, then the collecting bank should be held liable for the collection of that fraudulent check on the ground of which of the following. Everyone, you can answer this question. Only the subscriber can answer this question. Only the subscriber can answer this question. So the correct answer is obviously on the basis of negligence. On the basis of what? Negligence. Very easy. Okay. Next, the condition of the collecting bank claim protection has been laid down under Indian Contract Act, Banking Regulation Act, Negotiable Instrument Act, Banking Companies Rule. So the correct answer is very easy. So the correct answer is, everyone can answer this question very easy. So I have already told you which section 131 of which Negotiable Instrument Act provides safety to the collecting bank. Okay, so the correct answer is section 131. Yes, done. So yes, this is the complete chapter. This is a very short chapter. I have just given the overview of this chapter. Now, if you want to learn each and everything in detail, now this is just an overview, 10 to 15 to 20 minutes. I will finish one chapter to give you a short overview of the chapter. This is not the complete chapter. This is not the detailed. Okay, one. If you want to have the detail of each and every chapter, I request all of you to join the foundation as well as the selection batch which is going on the Oliveboard app. So the batches are available in English as well as Hindi medium, and I will be teaching you all PPB and IEIFS both in English medium. So you have the access of that bank. You can also buy the super elite subscription so that you can have a long term access to these batches. If you want to purchase the batch of one single subject, you can do that also. This is all present in the Oliveboard app. Just download this app. Okay, and if you haven't subscribed this channel, guys, please subscribe the channel and press the bell notification icon. And if you haven't liked the session, if you have understood the chapter, just please like and share the video. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Till then, take care. Thank you so much for joining. Bye bye. Take care, everyone. Bye, guys. Take care.